Okay, for all of these Wahite folks that are trying to erase and or change parts of our history, specifically when it comes to the subject of chattel slavery, I have a question for you. Why is it that when the truth is told about slavery in this country, your reaction is to feel uncomfortable about the subject because it calls out your Wahite ancestors for the atrocities that they imposed upon our ancestors? But you're not angry about the fact that your ancestors, A, stole this land from the indigenous people, and B, literally went across an ocean, kidnapped people, and brought them here to treat them as livestock, to treat them as beasts of burden. You're not angry about that? You're not angry about the fact that your ancestors treated our ancestors that terribly? That doesn't bother you? Just the fact that we're teaching the truth about what your ancestors did. That's the part that bothers you. I'd say that's a you problem. That is clearly a you problem. And besides that, think about this. It makes you feel uncomfortable knowing that this is the actual history of your ancestors, that's what they did. How uncomfortable do you think it makes indigenous children feel to know that your European ancestors came here and committed a G-side on their ancestors? How do you think that makes indigenous children feel? The fact that indigenous people to this very day are discriminated against and abused on this land that is rightfully theirs, that was colonized by your ancestors. You don't think those children feel uncomfortable? How about children like myself and my daughter when we were growing up in school? Don't you think it made us feel a little uncomfortable to know that our ancestors were beaten and tortured and raped and treated like they were less than human? You don't think that makes us feel uncomfortable? But nobody went out of their way to try to change history to soothe our wounds. Y'all want to go and try to change history to get rid of your Wahite guilt. Now, I'm not even suggesting that you should feel guilt for what your ancestors did. You are not responsible for what your ancestors did. You are, however, responsible for teaching the truth. We are responsible for teaching our children the truth. Because when you erase history, when you ignore history, you're bound to repeat it. And that's why we have the administration that we have now, because people have forgotten not so distant history, just how bad things can get when we don't pay attention, when we allow fascistic, authoritarian dictator wannabes into places of power. We have forgotten that. And that's how we ended up with the administration we have now. Looking at you, Jillian Michaels, and anybody else like her, y'all PragerU folks, looking at y'all. You're trying to change history instead of teaching true history so that we don't repeat it. Now, I know y'all Wahite supremacist-minded folks, you're going to leave your little racist comments and all of that, and that's fine. I just delete them anyway, so you're wasting your time. But I'm here to speak the truth, and I will, as long as I have breath in my body.